Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm Age O'Neill, and we're going to do some live code and Hangout tonight. So, first and foremost, pop top, my friends. Let us open focus. I know I kind of broke tradition by not saying first, let's have a word from our not sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. Tradition's important. Let's have a word from our not sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. Is the word. Hey, what's up, B-Kyle? How you doing? All right, so let's hunker down here. First of all, I'm going to take off my glasses. Let's do a quick review. So I'm working on webhooks for Dash payments. And Dash is a digital currency that just so happens to make use of some existing prior art. It is not a speculative investment scam. It is a real money that you can spend with people. But it does happen to make use of some technology that did happen to exist that it happened to repurpose for a better end. Anyway, what I've got so far is I've got the bit that creates the QR codes for the wallets. I've got the bit that does the encoding from the address style that appears in the blockchain versus the address style that's used with mobile apps and various libraries and whatnot. And tonight, the primary goal is to give kind of the same treatment I did here with Merchant.js, where I went through and I tested it and I documented it and all that. I've already got these webhook things working, and now I just need to test them a little bit better, document them a little bit better, and get it in a place where someone like yourself could put up a web service and be able to accept payments with Dash very easily. So that's kind of the goal. So hello to all of you that are joining in. Feel free to ask questions at any time. You can go off topic too. We're just live coding and hanging out. And yes, my face did get smaller. Larger. My face did get, you noticed that before the hair used to come down to here or so and used to cover, but I took some growth hormone and now my face got much bigger. And so as you can see, there's no longer enough hair to cover all of my face. So just in case you were wondering, that's what happened. I didn't actually get older. My face just got bigger. Okay. So with that all out of the way, I think, there was one other thing I wanted to cover real quick, which is that I did, from the last time, I didn't go to bed right away. I still had a couple of itches to scratch, so to speak. So there were just a few changes I made. I had a parse int where I should have had a parse float for the amount. I also had, I wasn't using the template string properly. I was using the wrong variable name. It was all stuff that basically this whole section of the code got skipped. And so these three minor bugs didn't end up mattering. But then when I fixed one, I had to go fix the others. So now the QR codes work with the suggested payment. And I did a little video on that I uploaded. I recorded it separately and then uploaded it. So you can check that out if you want. It's actually, I think it's actually right here in the README. Right there. There it is. There it is. And we'll get a thumbnail there. Hey, Josh. Take note, I do want a thumbnail for that video. It's in Otter, so it should already be processed in the spreadsheet and whatnot. Thanks. Okay, and then what was the other thing? I had another one that I went through. It turns out that private keys, also when I updated that code to work properly, it also started working quote unquote properly for private keys. And it turns out that private keys don't work the same way with being able to have a dash URL like so. And so I just made it so that if the address appears to be shorter than just a little bit longer than what I expect the private or the public key to be, because I'm guessing there's some cases where the public key can probably be a character longer, probably not 2 characters longer, but there's probably some cases where it could be a character longer, just the way that awkward encodings work, such as base 58. Sometimes if a bit flips here or there. So anyway, I haven't seen any that are 36 characters long. I've only seen them 34 characters long, but I'm not sure whether it could exist or not. Anyway, so I just said that. I said if it's less than that, then we can assume that it's a public key. If it's longer, we can assume that it's a private key. And if that turns out to be an issue, then it's not gonna majorly break anything. It's just gonna not put the amount in the URL, and we can file a bug for that and get it fixed. Yada yada. Okay, so that out of the way. I'm not even sure where I think I put it under dash testing. So let me go there. I need to find where this, yeah, there we go. Dash webhook client and dash payment webhooks. So we need to give these the treatment. Because right now the documentation for them is not so bueno and their functionality is kind of meh. So I'm going to try to find that. It looks like these two are the ones I need. I'm just going to bring them over here. And by the way, Baikal, how are you doing tonight? What are you up to? What have you been learning or working on lately? Boop, boop, boop. Okay, I'm going to bring this one over. I don't think we're going to work in the merchant wallet again right away, but I'm going to leave it there just for in case. And let's see. So I think this is our dash node. Let me see what this is costing us per month. I'm going to log into DigitalOcean and just take a look, see. Let me bring this over. And I'll plop it back over there in just a second. Okay. So this is our dash droplet, and I just wanted to see, what did we resize it to? Okay, I think we went with 4 gigs, so this is going to be about $30 a month, if I recall correctly, because we're paying $20 a month for the server, and then another $10 a month for the storage space. And to have this work reliably, we're probably looking at something closer to $60 a month, because we'd want to have 2 instances. I might be able to walk this down to 2 gigabytes of RAM now that the blockchain is up to date. All of the transactions have been indexed and everything's been downloaded and it doesn't need to do massive processing. But I'm not sure about that, so I'm going to leave it on 4. I had it all the way up to 16 while it was doing the processing, and then I went back down to 4 because that seemed all right. Let's take a look at our graphs for this real quick and just kind of see what we're looking at. Loads low. Okay, memory is up at 40%. So I'd say that 4 gigs is probably appropriate because that's basically doing nothing. That's just sitting there holding some data in memory. And then, yeah, our disk usage is high. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to get a look at that just to kind of reason about this because I'm going to actually release this into the Dash community as a paid service. We're going to get it to that point, and they can run it on their own as well. So this is open source and paid service. And it's going to be a native Dash service where people can pay in Dash to be able to use this API. And I want it to be reliable. And I want to kind of figure out what the payment should be. And you know, knowing that it's going to cost about $60 a month kind of gives me and I don't know. We'll see what happens because I got to put it forth to the community and kind of see what the take is on it. But if basically I'm going to need 100 people to probably pay somewhere in the realm of 0.01 Dash a month. Or I'm going to need 10 people to pay about 0.1 Dash per month. And I'll have to, well, we'll get into it. We'll just kind of figure it out as we go. But basically, I need to gate it by total number of API requests and a total amount of time. So if we say that you get 500,000 API requests, 500,000 API requests for $10. If you use that, you know, so say it's 1 month or maybe it's 1 year, but there's some amount of time that it's scoped to, and there's some number of API requests that it's scoped to, and then there's going to be some amount of bleed over where you get an error message, but also things will continue to somewhat work. That way, you've got a little bit of leeway. You don't want, when somebody is past due payment, you don't want something to just break, right? So that's kind of my thought process on how to build this out as a service. Okay, so all that we have here is just a bunch of, every time a block syncs, we see the percentage goes to 100%, and the dash job is running, the node job is running. So I think the thing that I want to do is, I'm not going to touch the server yet, because I think that there's going to be more to do there. In particular, we're going to have the client and the server come together, because the server is going to use the client, because the server is going to be a client of itself, because the server is going to accept dash payments, and therefore, yeah. So we'll see how far we get this. Also, I'm going to need to bring in some Postgres, because we're going to need a database to basically associate API tokens with dash addresses. So an API token will, I'm thinking the way that I'm going to go about it is that an API token, you can create one that is your user account, and it will work some number of times, and then you're going to need to create another one if you don't. Well, not create another one, but if you don't pay, then it will basically expire. And so there needs to be some sort of way that you don't just game the system. I got to think about that, because it's kind of rough. One of the hopes here is to not have strong ties to user accounts, having it be somewhat anonymous. You just by virtue of paying. So, and let's say not anonymous per se, but an authorization only service. So authentication is like a state ID. It doesn't say what you're allowed to do or what you're not allowed to do, but it declares who you are. So that's the state ID model. And then a hall pass is an authorization model. It doesn't say who you are, but it says that you're allowed to be somewhere. And if you are the bearer of the hall pass, then it is acceptable that you are in the hall. If you're familiar with the American schools, then you use a hall pass when you need to go to the bathroom or go to the principal's office or whatever, things like that. So that's kind of the general idea, what I'm thinking through. So the first thing that I need to do with this, the first modification I need to make, is right now, let's see, we got the token, we got the dash address, and I think we want to get rid of dash address here. And what we want to have instead is the ability to produce multiple addresses. So right now, this is just a server. There's no front end for it or whatever whatsoever. And we need to get a front end for it. So that's something that we need to do. We need to actually create this page where it's going to show the payment address and give the user an API key, I guess. Got to think through this a little bit, because it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of self-referential. Because this bit right here, this bit right here doesn't actually provide any service. This was just the demo payment page. So this might need to move over to be part of this. I'm not quite sure about that yet. So let me think on that for a minute while I work this out. But I know the first thing we need to do is we need to set up a way to show these addresses. So let's do that. We will have, this is server.js, right? Okay. So what we'll do is, after all of the API stuff, Then we'll do our app.use for a public API. So we could probably use, can we use express dot static probably? And then we want to give it, let me go up here. I think we're going to use path. And basically, we're going to do path.join. And we want to join, well, I guess dir name. We want to join the current dir name with public. All right. And that should be good enough, I think. Let's say public HTML equals, let's do that. I like to make things easier to read. And so I prefer to basically do one operation per line. I think that that's really helpful. There's some cases where I don't want to follow it to an extreme because I think it could go backwards. But generally speaking, one expression per line is a good rule to aim for. So whether it's a function call or an addition or whatever it is, if you go to one per line, you typically won't regret it. Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna look up documentation for express static real quick because I never remember what the second parameter is, but I think it has to do with security. So we give what are the options here? If you want to know what the options are, go see it. So dot files. So I'm gonna say yeah, we probably Interesting. Last modified. Oh, I remember the problems with this redirect stuff. Set headers. Let's see. I'm going to go with ignore for that. I don't know what the default behavior is. Let's see. What did it say? It is dot files, defaults, ignore. I think that being explicit about that is important. I think that the default behavior, this is probably the most secure, but it's also a little bit annoying because it'd be nice to see the forbidden message if you didn't specify ignore, or just get an error message saying, hey, you didn't specify what this should be. Because I think that's the kind of thing that you really do want to set every time. Okay, so we're going to have that, which means that we now need a public directory. And my go-to for CSS, do I have, let's see if we've got a template for HTML. I think I might have a template for HTML. Let's go check. AJ HTML boilerplate. This looks good. So there we are. That's what I wanted. So let's do index.html and just plop that in there. Let it get prettier-fied, and then mkdir vendor. And then in here, we want mvp.css. So really, let's see what we've got. Update deps here. There we are. Yeah, I'm just going to copy this in. And so now, I think I actually will restart the server here. Wait. Oh, that was the restream server. Duh. I need to stop restarting that one. Okay, and then I could fill this index.html with some stuff. So basically, I'm going to call this make payment. And we're just going to set it up to give somebody, we're going to create an API token. And an address. And the API token will be really short-lived. I have to think about how to make this a little bit annoying. What in the world happened there? MVP. That's CSS. Huh, that's weird. Let me just make sure file downloaded. Yeah. That must be my template was wrong, or maybe a paste went bad. Okay. Let's see. What do we want to have happen here? I think we're going to need basically a script for our app. Just some AJ script here. So I am working on a language that tentatively I'm just calling AJ script, which is the subset of JavaScript, the safe and productive subset of JavaScript for software engineers. So none of the fluff. I'm going to ask Ryan if we've got a domain. All right. And then I guess this section here is where we're going to put some stuff. Probably put the QR code. I guess first we'll need a button. I don't know. We're definitely going to need a section with some documentation. Probably put a pre in there. I think that I am going to end up merging. Well, no, this does need to be separate. It does need to be its own thing. But I will end up using it for the other one as well. Hold on just one second. What's this sticky stuff on the keyboard? Oh, looks like it's a piece of sticker. Who knew? All right. So I'm just kind of imagining what this is going to say. It's going to say curl. And then we're going to give it probably the domain. Let's see. What is this? This is, I think this is, I'm not sure. Gosh, I don't remember. This might be beyond code. What did I set this up to be? Let me go check my .env here. It's up one level. I got that there. But then how did I set what the server name is? And better yet, okay, it's beyondcode.duckdns.org. That's what I've set this up as. All right. So what we're going to do, I don't know what our app.js is going to be like just yet. But this we're going to have, we're going to make this templateable. Let's just go ahead and call it data TPL equals base URL. I'll just put example.com in there for now. And then we'll have some sort of API. Let's just do hello. And then we'll do a header authorization bearer. And then we're going to put in here I guess our token. Let's call it that. Something like that. Okay, and our form is going to have probably a submit button. And our form we're probably going to do on submit equals, and then I don't know what we're going to call this. So I'm just going to foo. I think that'll be right. Let's see. Get API key. So maybe we should call this, let's say this is just token maybe, and this is API key. So create something like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what it looks like. If we go to beyond code dot, oh, you know what? This is not going to work. And you know why? Because I need to create a different URL for this. Let me go on DuckDNS. I'm going to create a new subdomain. Let's see if I can log into the dash node one. I think I did sign in with GitHub for that. I don't remember. Yes. So I'm going to get, what should we call this? Dash hooks.duckdns.org. I don't know how to use the IP command. All right, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. All right, there we are. There's our IP address. I'm going to bring this on over. There we are. Update IP. Okay. So I should have that all together now. By the way, feel free to ask questions, make comments. Even a little gentle heckling and trolling is welcome. I like to have a little bit of discussion as we do this. But it's okay. I've got tonight just might be a focused night and not as much of a chat and story time night. And that's okay. All right. So what do I want to do then? Let me think about this. I think I want to go. We're gonna get to the caddy file. Oh, the caddy file is just at the root on this one. So we got beyond code. We got restream. So I think we need dash hooks is what we're going to call this to start with. Dash hook. Do we call it hook or hooks? Dash hooks. .duckdns.org. And then we're going to do a lot of really similar stuff here. Oh, bless me. Same logger, same gzipper, same reverse proxy. Yeah, all this stuff looks pretty standard, except we're going to call this dash hooks.duckdns.org. And what we're going to do with public here is we're going to link it. And I always forget the link command, how exactly it works. Tragic as it is. Let's see. I always forget which one is the target. So let's see if we just ran help. Well, I didn't. It even target directory, target link name. So the target, is the target what you're creating, or is the target what you're linking to? So I think its target is what you're linking to. Okay, so ln-s, and then target is what you're linking to, which would be, I suppose that would be this. Dash webhook test public. That's what we're linking to. And the link that we want to create is going to be www dash, let's be on code, dash hooks.duckdns.org. I think that's how we want to approach that. So that should work just fine. Sudo systemctl restart caddy. All right, that took a second. That's not too bad. And then let's go see if we can test this. So dash hooks.duckdns.org. All right, cool. So this is good. So we're here. We've got this page. I don't know why everything is thrown over to the right here, but so be it. We got a little something we can work from. Code. Oh, I know why. Because we need to not indent things that we don't want indented. Because everything's going to get indented exactly to our specifications. Okay. So let's try this here. All right. Ah, looking better already. Okay, so we're going to have a little hello on this. We're going to have some sort of form to get an API key. And I don't know what this should be. Get access to our hello API. Free trial includes 72 hours or let's see. Maybe we don't need a free trial. Because when you're dealing with basically where the transaction fees round down to 0, maybe it doesn't matter. Because think about it. One of the reasons that we have these faux free trials on web services is because it's so expensive to charge someone money. It is more expensive than what the money is worth. And it's really obnoxious to... It feels like you have to give a lot of information to get signed up. It's kind of arduous. It's not just click a button. There's these loopbacks that you have to do and that sort of thing. Redirects. You've got to put in a credit card number. You got to put in a password. It's kind of a lot you have to do. So, maybe if we just put it really, really low, what if we just say that it's 1,000th of a dash to start or a 10,000th of a dash to start, then all you're doing is verifying that you have some sort of ability to pay. And that's relatively, I got to think about this. It's an interesting idea. So what are the types of things that we'd want to do? We'd probably want an email address, but just for the purpose of the person being able to let us know where they want to get notified that their payment or their access is about to go away. So let's try John at example.com or me at example.com. Let's try that. I'm thinking on this. Not quite sure where this is going to go. Because this does open up a different opportunity. It's something I wasn't really thinking about before. Okay. So let's say this is optional. Yeah. So email, optional. Okay. And then I guess here we'd want to say let's try this. Input type equals checkbox. Notify me when payment is due. Notify me via email when payment is due. Yeah. Seems reasonable. All right. I think we're getting somewhere here. Start trial for 0.01 dash. Dang, that's kind of neat. I hadn't thought about this before. But if we're just targeting the dash community, we could do 1,000th of a dash. Yeah. And that's essentially, it's a free trial without being free. I mean that could actually cover the cost. This is interesting. This is just something that I'd never had the opportunity to think about it this way. This is really, really interesting. Starting at just 0.01 dash per month. Let's so here's a question: is how do you how do you denominate this? Is there a cool D character in the, let's see, Unicode D? Do we have any interesting D characters in the list? Maybe one of the dash through it. Can we do, let's see, Unicode dash through middle of character. I forget what these things are called. But essentially, you can concatenate, in Unicode you can concatenate many types of accent marks together. So I bet we could create the dash D with Unicode. I just don't know how to do it. But somebody, oh yeah, see this kind of thing. Oops, dash. Oh. Does somebody know what that's called? What sounds like a bargain? Starting a trial for the Hello API? Yeah, I think it's a bargain too. Trial includes 10 API calls. Works for 72 hours. Let's say we got that. Hey, Great Wolf, do you think you could do a little bit of research for me if you've got if you're not in the middle of a game or busy or something? There's a way to overlay characters in Unicode. And I'm pretty sure that we could create the dash symbol with 2 Unicode characters, just basically saying, here's a backward C, and then here's an accent mark. And I think that'd be really neat. Oh, you found it. You got it. You got it. Well, look at that. Yeah, how do you create that? How did you find that? Yeah. Yeah, let's do this. And should it be a prefix or a postfix, do you think? Let's just take a look at both and see what we think about this. We're breaking new ground here, man. It's exciting stuff. I don't like how that went. I was expecting maybe we need to put it in an aside. I was expecting this to center and all that. Yeah, I don't like that either. I guess I could create another section. The problem with MVP.css is it's got way too much white space. Oh, that works. Okay, that's not too bad. Do it as a prefix? Okay. Looks good. But how did you create this character and how many, well, I guess I can see how many bytes it is. I can just open up new, what is it called? Text encoder dot encode. And then we can put in here this, and we can see it is 2 bytes. So I'm thinking that this might, well, it could be, there's so many different ways to represent things in Unicode, but it could be the letter D and a dash represented in such a way that it knows to join them together. Let's see if we could do new text decoder and then decode, and then we could give it 196 and see what that comes up with. Okay. new uint8 array. We could try this. And then 144. We could try 144. Okay, but if we do 196, 144, okay. So neither of those are anything on their own. Well, that maybe it could be. There's this old where you put the byte. Is there an example of where this is shown elsewhere? Is this standard in the Dash community to use that D? Or are we just making this up right now? All right. Well, that's something. Hello API access. Affordable Hello API access. All right. I won't spend too much time on this, but I am kind of brainstorming this out. I do want to get on to the meat of this. And in some ways, this is the meat of this. This is... I should put strong. Best value. Most popular. There we go. Cool, cool. All right. Don't recall them really using it. Might have seen it in Dogecoin, though. On Edge Wallet, it uses D for both Dash and Doge. I guess not really a standard symbol agreed on. But where did you get it? How did you find it? What is that thing called? And how did you know to grab it? That's part of my question here. If I wanted to find this, how would I find it? But I like this. I think this looks nice. Okay. So this is basically it. I need somebody to help me kind of or just go look at somebody else's marketing page to kind of figure out what this should be like. But let's say this is pretty decent. So I'm just going to put a p tag here. All right. Trial includes, let's say, 10 API calls. Works for up to 72 hours. Upgrade at any time. I want to see if it'll just fix those for me. Oh, it did. That's nice. All right, cool. So we're going to start a trial. And let's say get your API key now. All right, cool. So here's our demo MVP page, which is so sadly blank up top. Let's go ahead and put a section up there. I think one of the problems with this. I'm actually going to go look at the MVP CSS site real quick. MVP CSS. And yeah, it's just, I hate so much white space. It's too much. It's overkill. There's no kill like overkill, but this is way overkill. All right, so there's nav and then there's an H1 there. Okay, let's just copy that style then. So there's nav, and then as part of the nav there's an H1, or after the nav there's an H1. So we're just calling this Hello API. Yeah, that's just, why so much white space? Just too much white space. White space is not a weapon. Oh, and I probably should have used table. Whatever. I'm not gonna go into the design phase on this. This is enough. I just need it enough to sell it to myself that yeah, I've got something here that can do some stuff. All right, so when we click start trial, we're gonna go fetch an API key. Is what we're gonna do. No, we're gonna go fetch an address. That's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna listen on that address for payment. And then we're gonna, I don't know, maybe use, I don't really want to use a WebSocket. Polling's probably just fine for this to start out. So let's do this. Function. All right, so we're gonna have to do, let form equals maybe window. Well, let's do it the old-fashioned way, or new-fashioned way, kind of the fashionable way. Let's say that. And if that, then window, otherwise module.exports. I guess we could just say exports. Okay, and then we have exports dot hello. No, exports dot foo. I call this foo. And then we're gonna have foo dot submit equals. And I kind of want a function. There we go. Evify. So we're going to have an event that comes into foo. But in order to have that, I'm trying to think about how to do this so it would work well with tooling. Because we could, at the end, just go over every function and then evify it. So we could do this. We could do object.keys foo. Whoops. Dot for each. And then we go over that way. Or we do something like this. Or I think the way that I really want to do it ultimately is to have something that looks at the onSubmit handler and then replaces it. So something that iterates through and says every there's an onSubmit, this function actually replace that onSubmit with this evify that would then be calling window, whatever the name of the thing is, whatever the subname is. I don't know. It's got to be performant. It's got to be intuitive. This works for now. Okay, this is using ustrict. Sorry, I haven't been checking comments here. Dash pay Unicode symbol. All right. All right, that's fair enough. Fair enough. There we go. And then let ev equals window.event. And then we just need ev.prevent defaults, ev.stop propagation. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if there's a way to undo these once you've done them. So the default would be stop propagation, prevent default. But then there'd be a way to turn it back on. I wonder if there's a undo stop propagation. Okay, so what we would need is to put something probably in the HTML that says to not stop propagation. Okay. All right. Anyway, we got foo.submit. And then I suppose what we're going to do is, well, let's see. Let fetch equals window.fetch. Well, in this case, I guess it should be exports.fetch, or it would be require fetch, something like that. And then, well, this is actually a function. So I guess it's more like that. I don't know. But then we're going to fetch the current URL. Oh, one of the things that I need to do, I totally was forgetting about this, is I need to have an init that's going to go through and find, was it data TPL? Oh, I got to get AJ query real quick. Let's go grab AJ query. The fastest, bestest, most loved jQuery alternative. Everybody loves AJ query. AJ query, AJ script. It's all going to be huge, y'all. Remember, you and the captain make it happen. All right, so let's go through. We're going to find data TPL equals base URL. And then we are going to do inner text equals location dot hostname location dot, I forget whether it's protocol or scheme. I need to go check that real quick. All right, location dot protocol location dot hostname. Yeah, we'll do those two. So location dot protocol with location dot hostname. There we are. And then what else did I want to do? API key. So we'll update the API key once we actually have one, which we don't yet. So when we submit, first we're going to just get an address, I suppose. So we probably want to do API slash, I guess we want to do method post. I totally forget how fetch API works. It's like this, isn't it? Put that there, and then you put the method here. So payment addresses. And then for the body, so you got the headers, and you put the content type, application JSON, and then for the body, we do JSON.stringify. And I don't even really know what we want to do here. Maybe it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, we possibly want to put the email address. So let's say email is going to be, it's going to be type equals email, and we're going to do ev.target, I think. Is that, we're going to search within ev. I think is it ev.target or is it ev.form? If I remember correctly, there's something that there's the form, there's the target, and there's the submitter, and they're kind of three different things. So I'm gonna think on that. Well, I'm gonna see what we print out on that to refresh my memory. But yeah, we're gonna get the email. And it's okay if there is no email, that's fine. So it doesn't have to be an email, that's optional. And I guess one of the things I want to do, let's see, if there's an email, then, well, I'm not going to worry about the UI stuff because that's not really my strength. But I would want it so that if there's no email, then the checkbox is grayed out. But if there is an email, then the checkbox would default to checked or the prior state. Oh, what was this? Interesting. Currency symbols. Interesting. All right, cool. Let me get out of some of this stuff here. All right. So what is it upset about here? Email is defined but never used. No, the email's used right there. Oh, it just doesn't like it because I didn't put the commas down. One thing that I'd like AJScript to be able to do, because other languages can do this, and I could be wrong about it. It could be a parser issue, but I would like automatic comma insertion, just as a tooling feature, not as a syntactic break in JavaScript, but just as a tooling feature. That if you forget a comma, that if putting a comma there fixes it, then it's just, oh yeah, cool. Automatic comma insertion. Great. Let's do it. Okay. So this is about what we're looking at here. So let response this, and then let JSON equals resp await resp.json. And then I guess, okay, so that means this needs to be async. I probably need to do something in terms of catching errors. It would be kind of cool to tell where this button comes from. I'm thinking a little bit about developing developing a front-end framework for myself. I just don't have enough experience with the front end to know what that should look like. But and I know that everybody's coming across all these different problems, which is why things are transpiled, because you have these performance issues and whatnot. But I'm wondering if there's not, a fairly simple way to say, loop through the HTML or look in the HTML for particular patterns. Say use something like find a selector for all on click, on submit, etc. And then if it has some sort of controller object or something to it, just eventify it like what we're doing here and carry on. Just something that's on my mind. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I'm AJ. I have not slept enough today, as is often the case, but so I'm a little bit lower energy. Like I always say, every other day is a great stream, because the nights that I get good sleep and then I have fresh ideas, we get a lot of interaction and it's really fun. Today is a little bit more relaxed. Just finishing my Mountain Dew here. But I had an epiphany that you don't have to have a free service if you can use Dash, because it's so painless to pay a few thousandth of a dash or 10,000th of a dash that it just makes sense. Okay, I don't want to put the init there. I want to put the init here. Let me just see if that's working. And then here I just want a console.log or, yeah. Response, JSON. And of course we should get just an error when we do this. But let's see how it goes. All right. Let's change this to notify me checked equals checked, right? Huzzah! It's working! It's working! Is that from ET? I might have to upgrade the stream here. Give me just 1 second. That's something for the soundboard. Oh, is that from Star Wars?
It's working! It's
working! I kind of want something a little better than that. Just a tiny bit. The sound isn't quite tapered well enough. Hey, no, there is an it's working in ET. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. Because Star Wars and ET is kind of a weird thing to get mixed up.
It's working! It's working! Oh. You did it! It's working!
Okay, I'll have to pick between those, but I need that on the soundboard. Okay. Just so we're clear. I'm just going to put that up for later. Okay. Matthew Mob, what's up? I can't really drink Mountain Dew as much. Too much sugar content for me. Yeah, I'm rotting my teeth out. It's okay. My dentist approves. Used to drink it when I was a kid, though. Hello, hello, Matthew Mob. What's up? How you doing? Tell me what you would like to learn about tonight. What brings you to the stream? We're just working on awesome stuff over here. Way awesome stuff. Too awesome for most people to handle. Do I have watch exec on this? Okay, I did not have watch exec, but I've got it now. So let's do this. Can I do watch exec -r -e js npm run start? Can we do that? Yeah, there we go. So now when I make changes to app.js, let's say I just did this, which is wrong, but we should see, oh wait, that's an HTML file, or is that? Oh yeah, okay, cool. So it's restarting. So it's restarting whether I'm changing files in the public folder or whether I'm changing them in the server folder, which is fine by me for now. Okay, so we have an API that is payment addresses. So we need here, generate payment addresses. And we're going to need, I'm not going to put the database in yet. I think that I might save this for the next session. But we are going to need a database to tie between these two. Or maybe I should just put it into today. Let me know what y'all think. Should we go into the Postgres stuff today? Or should we forego it for now? Also, what is, let's see, date.now. How big is this number? 100,000 million billion trillion. Am I doing that right? That's 1,000, that's million, that's billion, that's trillion. Yeah, okay. So that is biggish. All right, I'm going to get out of there for now. So now we need to bring in our beloved library from last night at root merchant account or merchant wallet. And then I'm going to over here, I'm actually going to print this out, I think. So I'm actually going to create a copy of merchant wallet, and I'm going to call it -hooks wallet. All right, -hooks wallet, and then I'm going to remove the env files, and then I'm going to run bin mnemonic to secret env. I'll show you what I'm running here. You can see it. So this is what I just ran. I ran bin mnemonic secret to env, and then I'm going to run bin xpub key to env. All right, there we are. I'm actually going to make a quick change to that script so that it checks for the file before it tries to read from it. There we go. So I'm just doing this. Sorry, I could have done that on the screen. So I'm just checking to see if this .env file exists. And then if it doesn't exist, I'm going to create it. That way, when it goes to grep through the file, it doesn't give that error message. That's just a tiny minor fix. I don't know why I brought that back over to the screen. I'm not doing anything to anything that's private yet. So I'm just going to call this fix bin test for .env before before grepping through it, before grep test. There we go. Boop, push that on up. Oh, let's go ahead and grab the latest. And then let's push. There we go. Okay. All good there. And then I am actually going to get, I'm actually going to consider I'm gonna bring this over here because I'm actually gonna pull the xpub key over into it, and I'm gonna use it as a real service, so I don't want you to see my xpub key, if you don't mind. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I didn't respond to your comment yet. I'm kind of in the zone, but I will momentarily. All right, so I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to create a .env.secrets. I'm going to actually put my xpub key in my secret file because I actually don't want you to see it. Stuff that I don't show on stream, duh. Hold on. All right, we're good. Let me bring this back over, and I'll check comments in just a second. So what I have now, I'm going to go back into this public directory. No, I'll stay here. So I have an xpub key in my .env now. Whoops, what did I do? And so we should be able to bring in merchant wallet. I'll just call it wallet. I'm going to go check out the documentation to see what I need to do here. But we're gonna yeah, this is flipping awesome actually. Okay, let me go check this out. Just coding and thought I'd watch a Twitch stream on the side, and I saw a fellow Vim user. Yeah. Well, you're going to be really disappointed with me because I am the most tarded Vim user that you will ever meet. For all of my years and years and years of Vim, I have basically nothing to show for it. And anytime I encounter somebody else who uses Vim, they're blown away that I have no idea how to do anything. So, but hey, I will tell you this. I have been able to take the stuff that I've learned and put it into, let's see, Vim Essentials. Check that out. So if you're interested, that's the stuff that's basically my entire Vim config. I do almost zero personal customization. Okay. So I don't really care about the coins thing, but I guess I need to do that. I should probably make a default there. I think I do want to do that. Let me go back over here. No, that's not the right one. Okay. I'm not going to deal with it right now. I'm just going to do it this way. This is fine. So I'm going to create a wallet, and then I'm going to get my xpub key from the environment is what I'm going to do. So we'll go ahead and do this. We've got our wallet. And then I'm going to let xpub key equals process.env.xpub key. That's kind of how I'm going to do it. And one thing that I need to fix in this library is my terrible inconsistence with figuring out what I wanted to name things, because you can see I did not do a great job of remaining consistent between my, if I'm going to do the camel case like this here, capital X, capital P, then here it should be lowercase x, capital P, or this should be capital X and lowercase p. I'm struggling. The struggle's real. Naming things. It's hard. Very, very hard. So if not xpub key, dot starts with xpub 6. Let's just say xpub. Then just going to throw a new error process.exit. I guess we can't do a return here, technically. We should probably be able to do that. Maybe I should keep it capsified. I don't know. All right. So, sure, we could do this down here. We could say this is where we're creating our wallet and doing our xpub key stuff. So throw new error. Oh, why is this process unreachable after throw? Oh yeah, because there's throwing a new error. Cool. Let's just do console.error because there's no point in throwing. There's nowhere to throw to. There's no function. So I'm just going to say missing xpub key. There we go. Good enough. Now let's see if we go back to this other window. Wallet.create is not a function. Okay, what have I done wrong? Looks like the documentation's wrong. I might have to go update that real quick. I think the README is wrong. Yep, the README is wrong. So we'll just have a couple of there's no problem. Oh, bless me. And is that wrong for coin as well? No, because coins is a JSON file. Okay. Okay. So this is fix docs. Sorry, I'm not going to bring this over. I'm just making a commit. I just updated the README to fix that dot wallet issue in the README. Add dot wallet to require. And the reason that I have it like this is it's just more universal when it comes to if I want to be able to use this in the browser, which at some point I will, then it's a lot easier without doing any transpiling or anything if you just put this on the exports object. So that's why I do it that way. Okay. Cool. All right, that's done now. All right, and then we haven't used the wallet, but we're going to use wallet. And I realize what I actually should do here is I should give the instance of the HD key wallet so that we don't have to pass an XPub key. So we should be able to do wallet dot probably just QR, or maybe even give it and have its own instance. It could have a sub instance. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe there should be a wallet dot create XPub key, but then it's 2 layers of creation. But I don't know. But then this could just be .qr for each of these. Anyway, I'm going to take this. We're going to create payment addresses here. So I'm just going to have this counter. We're just going to use this very simple like for now. Whoops. So we're going to have wallet index is what we'll call it. Whoops. And we'll have our payment addresses right there. And then down in payment addresses, this is where we'll create a new wallet index. And this, we're not doing the database yet. Although tell me if you think we ought to do that sooner than later. I'm open to it. So we're going to generate a wallet. We're going to generate the QR code in SVG format. But we should be okay. So we've got the payment address and the wallet. So we're going to do res.json here. And we're just going to pass back adder, payment adder, and then QR. I'm going to go with SVG. And then we'll put QR SVG in there, and I think I'll call this QR SVG. That seems about right. Wallet index. And actually, you know what we may want to do is I may want to have a get payment addresses and then an adder.svg. And then we could just run this right here. And we could do QR from adder, I think. Let me go check that out. No, it wouldn't be in here. It's under wallet. Okay. QR from, do we have QR from adder? We do. We do have QR from adder. So we could do QR from adder. And we actually do need to decide what the payment request amount is, because we did not specify that here, but we should. QR from XPub key. I think this is wrong. Let's try it. QR from XPub key, because it's missing. Oh, is that from the README too? Did I have this wrong in the README? I do. The README is wrong. Okay, that's fine. This is good to find out though. You know, just these little bugs. They're good to hone in on. All right, so index, comma, and go amount, let amount equal 0.01. Sure. I kind of want to collapse the amount and the object in together. All right, with QR. These ones don't need amounts. Those ones do. Okay. I'm going to do another commit, fix docs, add missing amount for QR generation. Okie dokie day. And I forget how we're supposed to do this in Express. Let me see. Express route with extension. File extension. Oh no. Here's the correct one. So I might need a backslash. What? That can't work. This would do literally nothing. Because this is a string, and it's going to backslash a period, which is going to mean nothing. So this is wrong. Because Express would never know that you had put a backslash in there. So I will show this to you. I'll demonstrate this. It happens to work, but the backslash is unnecessary. See? See how the backslash goes away? If you wanted a backslash there to go to Express, it would be a double backslash. So that is, in fact, doesn't do anything. Well, that's okay. All right. So adder SVG. So, and then we put a query there for the amount, perhaps. So I don't know where we're going to find out about the amount. But let's just say this is it. I'll just go with that for now. Okay. Payment address, QR amount, QR SVG. I think this is all good now. I don't know if we want to include the SVG in there. And the reason for that is I just don't know what's the appropriate way to use it. Would we create a data URL? Maybe that's what we would do. Let me think on that for a second. Well, I don't need to think on it. I need to search on it. Data URL. Hey, Sassy, what is up? How are you, dog? What is going on? Data URL SVG. SVG with data URIs. Okay, how do you escape? Okay, base 64. There we go. That's what we want. So here, I think it would make sense to basically do new buffer. No, sorry. Buffer dot from UTF-8 dot toString base 64, and this is specifically not URL safe because it will be used by data URI. Which, I don't know, does it need to be URL safe? It seems that it would, since it is literally a data URI, but who knows? I think, actually, let SVG base, let's call it SVG B64 equals, and then here, I think what we'd pass in would literally be SVG B64. I think this is it right there. You know, I oughta consider putting that in there just for usability. Okay, that looks right. So this would be source. We just call it source. We'd be good. And then we could have, say, API source. And then we could have that one would be like this. Let's go ahead and try that out and see how that works for us. Do we have the adder? We've got payment adder. So that should work. You're all safe and all that. But then this one, QR from adder, we should just be able to put in adder without the wallet index. And then be able to do rec.query.amount, I suppose. Let's see. Let me look for QR from adder over in the library. Sorry, I'm looking at this on the other screen just for convenience for myself. Adder amount ops. Adder amount ops. That's it right there. But what we would need to do is amount equals parse float rec.query.amount or 0. Well, I guess just or undefined. And then it's fine not to have an amount. Or I guess it could be 0. And then adder is going to be rec.params.adder. And then this is literally going to be res write qr svg. I guess we could just shortcut it to res.in, but we probably want res. What is it? Headers, content type equals svg, image svg plus xml. I think this would be our little bit here. I'm trying to get out of the habit of using anything but backticks for strings in all places where the backticks are allowed. Just because we don't need a million ways to do strings. We only need one, you know. Except we kind of do need a million ways. Well, we need at least 2, it turns out. Because the JavaScript spec, of course, is not consistent with itself. Because, of course, as the people who are working on the JavaScript spec are changing the language, they're not actually paying attention to the language's changes that they're making in a way that they can keep them consistent. So they added a meta-syntactic way to create objects. So you can create an object like this. And I will check comments in just a second. So you could now do something like this to say that adder, whatever adder here evaluates to, will become the key of this object. And then obviously this should work, because if we have meta-syntactic variables, then we should be able to use them consistently. But this is a syntax error, which kind of blows my mind. But such is the way when people are just fighting over what they can get in a language rather than trying to keep it concise and easy to use. Oh no, what is it? I can't see. Raid, raid, raid. Well, hello. Electrancy, what is raid? Who's raiding? You're raiding? You're raiding me? Well, thank you. Hello, Electrancy viewers. So I go by AJ. I actually have there's a video, Why Cool AJ. I just did this the other day. Why Cool AJ 86. Let's see if we just search Cool AJ 86. But I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm going to copy that link address right here. Samniter. Who's Samniter? Well, I'm sorry y'all did not raid during a really fun time, but no, you know what? We're going to make this a fun time. How do we make this a fun time? I don't know anything about raiding. I'm the worst Twitcher in the world, or second or third worst. But party time. Uh I think I was actually supposed to have a little. I might have missed it. I think I was supposed to have a little thing that pops up if somebody raids, just in case to notify me. But yeah, what do we do now? So let me hold on. Give me a second here. I'm getting really excited about this. All right, let's pretend that this is full. Guys, I'm coding Dash wallets. It's insane. Look at these payment addresses and SPGs. It's about to get real up in here. My wife will probably upset me if I wake the kids upstairs yelling like that. Wait, did I say my wife will upset me? Or did I say I'll upset my wife? English is hard. Okay, but we're getting close here on having this be usable. I think we are. So I think these two should work right now. These two posts. Oh, this one needs to be a get, not a post. Doi. All right. And I'm actually going to add public to this. Because these are things that basically anybody should be able to access. And then let's see, under here, I'm going to fetch public payment addresses. Now, when we go to hit submit, it should do something. It's not going to do much, but we should get something in the console that's useful. Oh, wait, I need to refresh, don't I? All right. Hey-o! Look at that. Nice. First argument must be of type string. Good. Okay, that's progress. I'll call that. I'll take it. Oops. Except that. I don't like that. All right. Let's take a look at this in the network tab. Post 400. Come on. Let's get rid of this thing. There we go. Let's see if we can make this readable. All right, what do we got? Oh, wait. Hold on.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
Don't bash myself too much, I'm learning. Unless you're on Linux, then feel free to bash all you want. Yeah. It's a Unix system. I know it. Are we talking about learning the twitching? Well, the thing is, I don't watch anyone else on Twitch. This is one of the things. There's this thing called write-only memory. That's what I am. I'm write-only memory. I should watch. Well, no, there is one person. I watch Soy Pete sometimes when I can. She's working on this Discord bot and she's doing it in Go. And I know her in real life because she does the Go meetup around here that I never go to. But I went to the Go conference. I have a strange relationship with Go because it's my favorite language, but it's so intuitive to me that I never go to the meetups because it just feels like, well, of course. I don't know. Well, part of it is that I don't get enough notification about it. I don't know. I don't know why I don't go to the meetups. I've got no good answer. But API public payment address. So something's wrong here. And we're getting back. Let me go to the server. Console.error, error.stack. This is what we need. Fail. I need to do that. Now I need to refresh. And now hopefully I'll get something a little bit more useful over here. There we go. Received an instance of promise. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Do I need to update? I probably need to update some README stuff over here about using await. This one, I don't think I need to use await for that, do I? I probably do need to use await for QR from pubkey. That's probably what I don't. I probably didn't do that, and I should. I have to double check on that. Do I need await for QR from pubkey? Let's see. I don't blame you. 99% of Twitch content is lame. Yeah, like this stuff right here. Sorry, there I said it. Don't stab me with too many pitchforks in regards to you not watching Twitch. Well, it's not that the content's lame. It's just that I have so much flipping stuff to do during the day that I don't. Okay, if I'm gonna watch something, it's gonna be really, really high value content, and I'm not creating super high value content. I do sometimes. I do create, a few times a month. I create some really honed content. I feel like, um, but there's actually another couple of talks I need to add here that I watched recently. I'm going to go to YouTube. This might get me in trouble. We're going to look at my feed history. So I want to look at the Google talks that I've looked at recently. The Effective Engineer. Let's see, there was another one I just watched. There was algorithms to live by. But these two need to make it on Creeds of Craftsmanship. Both of these were absolutely excellent. Especially this one I thought was really, really good. I'm gonna throw this in here. It's just great. This is the kind of content that I try to consume. So this is author of TCL talks at Google, software philosophy. Yeah, I want, but this was really good stuff. And what Edmund Lau had to say, or Lou or Lau, I don't know if I'm saying that right. His stuff was really good too, but I felt that it was a little more generic. Not that it wasn't valuable, because it was very valuable, but just it's something that you could have. Lots of people. I don't know. I found John Ousterhout's talk more. I think you should watch both, but if you only pick one, I'm gonna pick the John Ouster. What's his bucket? What's this called? A Philosophy of Software Design. I want to get his book too. He mentions a book in this talk, and I kind of want to wait for the second edition to come out, or maybe it already did come out. I need to go look that up again. And what was this one? And the algorithms to live by was really good, but it was more, as the talk implies, about how they apply to your life than how they apply to your code. Is just really darn good life advice is what it ended up being. But I'm going to go ahead and add these in there. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, general, author of TK, and then he's a former Googler, I think is what his deal was. Startup junkie. I think this is what I'd say. I think a lot of people would just get a lot of value out of both of these. I'm going to format those ever so slightly differently. Oh no. Here we go. Let's try that. Okay, that's working out. Cool. And then this is Creeds of Craftsmanship. Stephen Wolfram, I've heard the name, but throw me a talk. By the way, I'll throw y'all a link to the Discord if you want to jump in on the Discord. Feel free. It's one of the few things I got right, is I've got a Discord. Maybe I should throw y'all into the live streams. Is that if you invite somebody, do you invite them to a particular channel, or do you invite them into the whole Discord? But here's our Discord. And thanks to those of you that are sticking around with me. I sure do appreciate you. That's kind of a weird thing to say because I don't actually have a relationship with you yet, but I'd like to. Okay, let me check this out. Server 78. That looks like where our problem is. So, whoops. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go into server. Let's go to line 78. And let's see, what did we do wrong here? Yes. QR from xpubkey. So this one, it was just missing some awaits. So again, documentation, fix docs, add missing await before promise. Okay, cool. It's good to be using the docs and finding these bugs so that other people don't think that my code's just crap. Well, it's not that they think that it's crap, it's that I want it to work for them. And if the documentation's wrong and it doesn't work for them, then that's no bueno. You know, the benefit does not reach the intended target. Okay. So again, let's just take a look at console here. Start trial, and then, hey-oh. Great. So there's the API source. And let's just see what happens if we try to get this. I'll be curious. And we probably need to put in here an amount equals. Let me do this. I like to do it this way. So I like to have this, and then I like to have search equals nothing if amount, because we're going to change the amount. So with the amount static right now, but we're going to change it eventually. So search equals, and we actually could just do new URL search params dot to string is one way to go about this. So we do amount. I'm actually going to do that for right now. I should be doing this everywhere. I haven't been. Let me just make sure I got that right. URL search params. Yeah. So I should be doing that everywhere, but I haven't been. Because that's going to give you the correct escaping. You know, it's just one function that I don't have to carry around in my back pocket all the time anymore. Okay, so that looks good, right? No. This one, that's already got it in the image. This is where we need it, right here, in the SVG. Okay, cool. And then the SVG, we got the amount from query.amount. Cool, that's good. That's all good. Now let's update the front end component a little bit so that when, I guess I need index.html. I'll check out the comments in just a second. So here where this form is, I guess data ID equals trial. And then we'll do another one that, I don't know if it really makes sense for this to be a form, but we'll do payment address, and we'll make this hidden by default. And I don't know how this will be submitted. I'm really just putting in a form for consistency at this point. So we'll do data source. And we don't know what that is yet, but we want this to be here. Probably want to check balance or something. Unfortunately, I did not sleep enough last night, so I'm not going to be able to get as far on this tonight as I wanted to. We're we're only 2 hours in, and I was hoping I'd be able to go a good 4 or 5 hours. But I'm feeling that I'm just not going to make it. We're going to get to a good spot, probably a little bit further along here, and then we're going to have to put pause on this, unfortunately, so I can get a good night's sleep, and then Monday come at this full steam and really just hammer it out. I'm super excited for where this is going. We are going to get the QR code loaded. We are going to test the webhook. I think that's where we're going to leave it. So we're not going to get quite to crystallizing all the documentation and getting this something that you could just fire up, but we will get there. Y'all, we're going to have dash payments and services made easy. And to my surprise, this is going to be easier than PayPal when all is said and done, especially because of this whole we can get people to pay for any usage of the API because all they have to do to get an API key is scan and pay 1,000th of a dash, and that's nothing. So you can always guarantee that somebody pays. This is mind blowing. This is literally revolutionary. This is literally, we have to figure out what this means, but this is literally revolutionary, that you could not have to offer a free tier, that you could have people at the very least pay for anything that's at a service level and it not feel like anything. Anyway, let me check comments real quick. Yeah. Discord just got posted. Oh, you're already on my server. Well, I don't call it a server because a server means something that you run. Again, I'm really resistant to language being co-opted. Um, yeah, sign that you're tired. It's okay. We're all tired. Yeah, you call it. Go ahead. Have a good one. Thanks for joining in. Catch you later. Thumbs up if you got them. Follow, sub, like all the things, which it seems that you already have. You just forgot about it. Times for change. Does Vim have a built-in code view to power? No, but with Vim Essentials, you get what you need. So check out Vim Essentials there. Prettier Prettier Ale, and either JS Hint or JS Lent. ES Lent. You'll get what you need. That's my config. There's a couple things that I might update to Vim Essentials. For example, I think I'm going to add a Vim autocomplete. It's just that autocomplete is a little tricksy, and I haven't 100% figured out. And I haven't really invested in it because autocomplete often annoys me. I don't like autocomplete. I do like tab completion. And so I may do a Vim tab complete or Vim autocomplete, something of that nature, and get it into Vim Essentials. Anyway, so we're going to have data source here. That's data ID payment address. So data source. There's nothing. Let's call it SVG SRC. Or just QR SRC. I don't know. All right. So we're going to have this. And then I'm going to have it so that payment address QR gets updated. We also need to have, where'd that span go? I guess they're right here. We need something like this. H2, H3, I don't know what this needs to be. Maybe it can just be small underneath. But we need to have payment address. Needs to be in there. So we got an ID payment address, QRSRC, this. I'm just going to copy this real quick. And what was the other one called? Classes trial. So just going to take forms. I'm going to hide all the forms every time we go through this trial. And then just show the form we want, maybe. I'm so old school. One day I am going to have a framework, but it's going to be one that I write. Or I don't know, maybe somebody else will come up with something I just really love. I haven't seen anything hit the sweet spot of just being JavaScript. I think that that's possible, and I think that we should look for it. Okay, so what we're going to see here, let's go ahead and do our double. No, we're gonna have form. We're gonna do dot for each, and we're gonna have form dot hidden equals true. I think Vue has got kind of the right approach, but they've just made it too complicated. They need to scale back to simplicity. There's another one, Alpine, feels pretty uncomplicated. All right, so what we want to do really is we want to update data ID equals, there we go. Let's just do it this way. Payment address. And then what is it that I want to do on this one? What's more that I want to find, QR source. I want to change source equal to, what is this going to be? JSON dot qr.src should be what that looks like. And then we're going to hide everything, but then we're going to find our form right here and do hidden equals false. And I guess I should just bring the response up here. And then we want to get the payment address. So we're going to have, it should just be adder, I think. Adder, yeah. Probably should have amount above QR. Let me go fix that real quick before I do anything here. Checking comments again. Gotcha. That's awesome. Watched that Vim video yesterday and sub to YouTube. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, hopefully, you know, and again, if you got any ideas for the content requests, just throw them in there. I am going to get around to it all eventually. Right now, we're trying to buy a house. Oh, so I am extra. I'm just extra focused on things that immediately make money for probably the next month. So I'm probably going to be pretty low on content requests and pretty heavy on Dash and a few other projects that are raking in the monenes. Because the housing market in Utah is insane right now. I never thought that I would spend this much money on a home. And if I did, I thought it would basically be the grandparent home, you know, the one that has the theater room and the 4 living rooms and the 8 bedrooms. Because what, you know, $750,000 homes a few years ago were grandparent homes, and now they're upper middle class homes. And so we're getting something that's not quite that high in the range, but we're probably not going to get it because basically you got to have a lot of liquid cash in order to make a compelling offer. But there's also a builder that basically we're going to have as soon, because they've got a lot that I think we're first or second in line. And basically we're going to be incredibly aggressive if we don't get this house by Tuesday. If we don't start having movement on it by Tuesday, we're going to be incredibly aggressive with this builder and basically just call them up every 5 minutes and say, is it released yet? Is it released yet? Is it released yet? Is it released yet? And then just sign the paper with their eyes closed once it does get released. And either one of those options is actually going to be about as best as we can get. So I'm going to be happy with either one of them. Okay, anyway, let me get back here to this real quick, and then I'll check that comment. What was I doing? I was coming back here because I wanted to denest something. Yeah, because it seemed that amount really should go here. Yeah, that seems appropriate. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, now that we got that amount there, let's come back here, and we want to get data TPL payment address dot inner text to be adder. And then I think we also want payment amount to be amount. And we'll figure out what that should look like in just a second. But I think this is basically what we want. And then maybe we can do that webhook, and then I'm probably out for the night. But I'm going to get a nice sleep, get to bed before 2 a.m. It's good to do every once in a while. I don't recommend it all the time, but every once in a while, it can be good. All right, payment amount to all right, that's the QR. So I think this probably won't work because nothing ever works on the first try. Well, color me impressed. Yeah, that was worth 2. There we go. So now what we need to do is we need to make sure that we register interest in this address that we're about to receive a payment from. And then we want to put a spinner on here. This is what we want. We want a spinner on here. So I'm just going to put a to-do spinner in this for right now. So to-do spinner. And this is a case where I think a WebSocket may be appropriate because we want it instantly. Well, long polling will work. We could do long polling. But I think WebSocket might be appropriate here. In general, I say stay away from WebSockets because this is the thing. You want to get you just want to get your system working in a way that works first and then go through and do all the complex optimizations. Too many people jump to advanced caching and service workers and WebSockets, and they don't even know how to do basic programming. And when you add all those layers on top of something and you don't have the fundamentals down and your application doesn't work in the basic way, you're just complicating stuff. You got more state management to do. You got more places things that can go wrong. Polling is not really inefficient. You've already got a TC. So the thing with polling is people say, oh, they're going to use more network, blah, blah, but it's really not, because the stream's already open, and there's kind of a rounds down to zero effect in terms of if your application is sitting there doing nothing, and then it has 20 milliseconds of latency in addition to what it would have had otherwise, which is still beneath human perception. Human perception around 100 milliseconds or so. So the bandwidth rounds down to 0. You've already got the connection held open anyway because your browser is going to maintain usually about 4 connections to a website. So yeah, you're not really getting this benefit or efficiency with a WebSocket until you really need one. But when it's just a little thing like what this is going to be, we just want to hold the socket open for a few seconds before sending it back. It's really I if you've already are experienced with WebSockets and you know how to do the state management for it, you know how to do the authentication for it and all that, by all means, go ahead, do it. But it's just it's not something I'd say should be the first tool you reach for. By the way, Josh, this would make a good clip as well. Cautionary tale of WebSockets. It's not really a tale. WebSockets not the first tool in the toolbox. I don't know. All right, let me read this. Where am I? I'm in Utah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here in California, the houses are at peak pricing right now, making people decide to sell them. Well, that's kind of weird though, because it seems that everybody's moving out of California to Utah, and that's why our prices are going up. And all these people in California, they're investors, they're paying cash for houses, which is driving up the pricing even further because in order to outcompete a cash offer, I have to just offer an obscene amount of money, which you still can't do because in order to offer over market value, you have to pay anything over market value in cash. So it sucks in a lot of ways. Drains all of your cash, and you don't get to put any of your. Uh, I don't know if we're gonna be able to take any. There's got to be a way. I gotta talk with them when we actually get to the loan. Get to the details on the loan because we'd like to take out an extra $10,000, $20,000, something in that realm as part of what we're going to furnish the house with. Because literally, if we get this house, it's going to empty our bank accounts. We're going to be living paycheck to paycheck for probably 3 months or so while we get things sorted out, and we won't have a fridge. So it's going to be. But if we don't do it now, then when? We're gonna have to face that time that we're gonna have to face that problem at some point. And I think I don't really know all this stuff, but it seems that while interest rates are going up, better to do it now because the housing prices are going to continue to go up and interest rates are going to continue to go up. So it's just a double whammy. I think the prices this month are somewhere around 40,000 K higher than they were last month for the same houses. So I don't know. Maybe it's just another 2008. Have them take Dash instead of cash? Yeah. Yeah. If I had 5,000 Dash, 6,000 Dash, 7,000 Dash, then yeah, that'd work out great. So why don't you just convince all the Masternode owners to contribute to the cause, and I'll get it paid in Dash. How about that? Okay, so we got the to-do for the spinner here. That's good. And then what's the next thing that we need to do? We're showing the address, which is good. We want to show the address. I actually would prefer, I think this is going to look better if we take this and put it up top rather than down below. And then make this whole thing strong. Maybe we want an H3 out of it. I don't know. I'm just going to throw an H3 in there just to kind of see how it feels. And then on the server side, we need to mark that address as interesting and send it away. So we have this API addresses right here. We need to pull this out into its own function. So basically we need to say function register webhook, and then register webhook, And I don't know what we were going to do here. But let's just pretend like this was a thing. Rec.params.adder. Adder. Let resp. This is dangerous. I should paste. I should get my paste buffer out before I go do other things. All right, then we're going to need to await this. Kirglow had a cool idea the other day of what if everything was awaited by default and you had to use a lazy keyword? And I think that essentially that's what Go is. Because Go, the lazy keyword is Go. And then you put a channel around it. It's not quite the same thing because it is actually synchronous, which is better because Go is optimized for using multiple cores. And so if you've got something that actually is optimized for using multiple cores, synchronous is better than asynchronous because, well, I mean, depending, everything's got its trade-offs, right? But it's where you spend your thrash time and where you spend your wait time. And the Go event loop is optimized towards things feeling synchronous and not having to have, because when they did Node, they had to rebuild literally the event library on every operating system. So Windows, Mac, and Linux all got brand new event libraries, which is pretty powerful. That something caught hold so greatly, and Microsoft funded it. libuv was, I may be misrepresenting that to some degree because it may not have been entirely Microsoft funded, but the event system in Windows sucks so bad that Microsoft funded a completely new event system, cross-platform event system, which is libuv. But with Go, they didn't really have to do that. They could use the existing systems, and then the event system was the Go routine scheduler, which I think from an engineering perspective makes a lot more sense. But from what was available in languages at the time, JavaScript had the closest thing to that. But then you have the problem of if you did make it truly asynchronous, then you have potential for memory corruption. So in a single-threaded language like JavaScript, if they had the foresight to do it, I think you could have implicit awaits, and that could work out well. But that's not the way that it happened. And I don't think any new language would want to do it that way because the Go way, I think, makes more sense. And Rust has the hybrid approach where you could do it the Go way or the JavaScript way. So that's cool, I guess. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to have the base URL here. Let's call it base URL. And then I guess we'll do base URL here. Base URL. Bum, 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 bum. Base URL. Don't ask me why I'm doing that. I don't know. I am doing the 90s theme song riff, Wake, Rattle, and Roll. Because I looked that up recently because I was trying to remember. I had a dream. It's weird. It's weird. I have dreams about things from 20 years ago. Uh-oh, what's going on? Why is everything frozen? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? Do I need to unplug this? No. Okay, the stream's still on, right? Somebody send me a message real quick. Is the stream still going? It looks like it's still going. I don't see anything that says it's not going. Okay, that works. Why did I lose? Okay, there it goes. I'm back. We're back. We're back. Okay. I was going to mention Dex, though. Because I liked this cartoon. My grandma used to put it on for me. Dex robot. No. There he is. The awesome robot. That's my man right there. Yeah, I have these dreams sometimes about things that are from 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. And I think he's popped in my dreams a couple of times in the last 5 years. And then I finally remembered the dream. But this is the thing with dreams is that I have a dream, and then in the dream, I remember that I've had the dream before. And so I don't know if that's Inception or if that is actually that because I'm in the dream state, I'm remembering the prior dream state, whereas I don't remember it when I'm awake. But it's one of those things where, planting false memories. Who knows? Okay, so we're going to register the webhook. Basically like this. Bum, 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 bum. So here, where I'm generating the address, I want to be listening for it. However, I do want some sort of fallback on this one. I don't know exactly. Well, I don't know. If for some reason we can't. I'm going to just put a to do here. To do, what if web hooking fails? Because we should still allow the person to pay if we can't, even if we can't tell instantaneously when it was they paid. That's not really that big of a deal. Okay, but here, let's see. What does this look like when we do it here? I don't remember. All right, so we're going to register the webhook. And then I think we should be able to get something in the console about this, which is all we need. All right, so I think this is pretty much where, do I have this in a repo? Yeah. Okay, we'll see what happens here. But I think we actually do want, well, let's see. I'm going to refresh this page. I'm going to keep this open. I'm going to see that we got a response address. And I'm going to see what it looks like here. I was expecting something didn't go the way that I expected. So what I was expecting was that with the register webhook right here, let resp equals console.log resp dot, just I guess resp dot body. I think I was expecting to see a couple of things. One, over here, I was expecting to see that the webhook was registered. Over here, I was expecting to see the test hook. We didn't see either of those. So something didn't quite go right. Let me be back over here. Just make sure. All right, let's do this again. Untrusted host name. That makes sense. That makes sense, actually. So I'm going to edit my file over here. Tokens.json. And then we're going to have dash hooks.duckdns.org. There we go. Okay, now when I refresh this, I think we're going to see the right thing. We registered a hooked invalid dash address. Okay. So I need that address to be in a different format. Okay, I can fix that. I forgot. I should probably allow, on the API side, I should probably allow the address to be in either format. Let's see, do I have the base 58 check in here? No, I don't. Do I have base 58 check in here? Yeah, base 58 check. Well, if that's the case, is it the base X conversion? Base X conversion that I'm missing? Okay. I think my problem is that I'm just missing base X conversion. From base 58 to hex is what that wants. Am I using that one here? I'm not. Okay, so let me think about this. That's all I do. Is that going to work? Base 58 check. Yeah, I don't know if I should put it in this one. I'm gonna take a look at what this one looks like. Let me go check comments too real quick. The QR code doesn't seem to be centered in the outer box container. Yeah, I'm not worried about that right now. Yeah, nothing's really centered. If you want me to magic center it, let me introduce you into one of these. This is the newest, this is the latest and greatest in CSS technology. Don't tell anyone I told you. People get really, really mad when they find out about this new CSS element in HTML. But if you want something centered, that's the state-of-the-art way to do it. At least if you want it centered this way. If you want it centered this way, the state-of-the-art way to do it is to hold a revolver and pull the trigger until you don't have that problem anymore. Probably shouldn't joke like that because, you know, it's serious stuff. But okay, base 58 address. All right, what's going wrong here? Something's going wrong. Payment adder dot params adder. What? Oh. Yeah, there is no. Okay, that's simple enough. I was just passing the wrong thing. Situation normal. All messed up. Okay, now we got both of these open again. I'm going to go ahead and do that there. I'm going to go ahead and do that there. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this and click the button. All right. No basic auth password. I think that's actually okay because that's intended. Because it's going to do that test. Yeah, it receives the test for passing, and then there's a failure test. And this is actually intended, so this is okay. And so this did get registered. And there's the address. And this is essentially the token. Okay. So here, this is what we need to check out. I'm going to move this over somewhere because what we need to find out is if the instant, if this is showing on block, a block update, or if this is showing on mempool. I don't really understand 100% what I'm saying, but it's the thing that we need to figure out right now. So the way that we're going to figure this out is I'm going to pay this amount to this address, and then we're going to see how instantaneous it shows up in these two windows, which hopefully will be within a matter of a few seconds. That's the hope. So let's see here. All right, I'm going to scan to pay. All right, and then I'm just going to hit, I'm confirming. Yeah, just hit send. And then I don't know what happened there. It looks like there was a fluke, and I don't think it actually sent anything. All right, I'm going to scan to pay again because it didn't ask me. I think somehow I accidentally clicked cancel. Okay, there we go. Now it's asking me for this. Okay, so sending. So it hasn't sent yet. All right, we should do insight.dash.org. Still hasn't sent yet. All right, so I don't know if this is a problem with my phone or what it is, but it's just taking a long time to send. And I don't think it popped up, and sometimes it pops up and says this will send instantly with no extra network fee. But I don't know the rhyme or reason to when it shows that or it doesn't show that. If you know, Great Wolf, and you could expand on that, that would be wonderful. Yeah, it's still sending. So it's just taking forever on my phone here. But it'll be interesting to see when this actually completes sending. Is it just because there's too many transactions happening right now? Because 1:31 a.m. Do you know where your dash are? Everybody's just checking. What's the possible reason? Still sending. And the UI of this is kind of weird because it has a down arrow as if I'm supposed to confirm by dragging down. Because it says confirm and it has a down arrow. And then if I pull it down, it just pops back up again. Maybe the wallet's still syncing. Hey, that's an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought. That could be problematic then. That could be problematic. Well, how much does it need to sync per day? Let's see. Oh, I think it did something. Nope. No, it's just the privacy feature. Okay. I've got data on. I've got Wi-Fi on. Should be connected to the good Wi-Fi. I just don't think it should take this long, you know? Okay. But I have a good feeling that perhaps what I was doing before was wrong, and this is going to work great. I don't know what to do here. It's just sitting at sending. But basically, the point that I want to get to is just that we can see the webhook go through on the payment. And then the next step will be that we hook this up with, let's see, what will the next step be? The next step might be a little bit off the direct path because we want to have some sort of system in place to say what the limits are for the payment. So I think essentially I want to be able to issue this API token, and based on the payment, the date of the payment and the amount of the payment, and maybe some other metadata, be able to make I don't know. I just need to associate something and say this can make 10 API calls and it can work for up to 72 hours or something like that. Oh, was that? No, that's block stuff. I think I'm just going to cancel the app here. And if that doesn't send, so be it. And I'm reopening the app. And I'm just going to let it sit and make sure it syncs to 100%. But that's something that's a really bad user experience if it's got to wait to sync and it's got to take a long time to do that. Right now it's sitting, okay, it went 0.1%, 33%, 100%. Okay. That's kind of a bad user experience to just have to wait that long. Oh, what was that? What was that? Did somebody raid? Or somebody did something? Because there was a little sound that played, and I think that was connected to the stream. But I think it went through immediately. So there's the address we were looking for. I got distracted by the sound, but I think it went through immediately. So let's try this again. I'm going to refresh this, and we should get a different address this time. So this one ended in MDP. So let's refresh. All right, new address. We're listening for a new address. All is well. Let's make sure the blockchain is 100% in sync and all that. And then I'm going to scan to pay. All right, and then I'm going to hit confirm. Well, I'm going to wait just a second to hit confirm. I want to make sure we've got everything in full view here. All right, and then I'm going to hit confirm. Let's watch. Boom. Okay, cool. Didn't show up over here, though. Showed up over here, which is great, but it didn't show up over here. Or it did, and it just nothing changed. Let's see. It may have happened so quickly I just didn't notice it. MDP XX9. XX9. Okay, so it did happen. It happened so quickly I didn't notice it. Great. So we have instant notification that the payment has done something. Now, there's some additional information about whether it's been marked with instant send that I need to dig up. But I would call this a roaring success. Yeah, that was flippin' awesome. I'm excited about this. Just the idea that someone could pay a penny in order to get an API token, or sorry, excuse me, a 10,000th of a dash. Because I want to be speaking in the appropriate terminology here, which I think that's a pretty good way to look at it. So that just the idea that somebody could be paying a 10,000th of a dash. I just love the idea that paying is so simple and so easy and so fast that you don't have to goof around with free tier crap. That could be world changing, because so many of the problems that we have today are a result of it being difficult to pay a nominal amount, because the transaction fees 30 cents plus 3% and yada yada, and all of the hoopla you have to jump through to do a payment. Just throwing a few 10,000th of something into a jar to have, I don't know if y'all get what I'm saying here, but this is one of the fundamental flaws of the internet, is it's impossible to do small transactions. I just Okay, so I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna call this a success. Making a note here, huge success. I need that clip as well. I want that on my soundboard. Hold on. No, not that one.
I bet your scientists weak, except the ones who are dead. But they must go here. I'm making a note here, huge success.
Okay. Josh, if you could clip that for me, that would be amazing. I'm going to throw this in here. Making a note here, huge success. I'm going to throw the other ones in here too. E.T., it's working, and Star Wars, it's working. Because I would love to have these on my soundboard. I just want it so that it's not so abrupt, that it's got just a little bit of taper on the sides, so that it's got got the. You can do this really easy in DaVinci Resolve, where you just touch the audio and give it a curve, so it's got a nice taper to it, rather than feeling as though there was a note and then it just audio cuts out with a strong. Okay. Generate payment addresses and webhooks. Bah, humbug. What do I need to do for this? Need to be very, very careful. What is the thing called? Dash webhook test. Was that what it was called? Okay. Okay, is this the one that I want? I think this is the one I want. So I want to rsync from the remote server. Beyond code dash webhook test to here, right? Yeah. I'm just going to call this whip. Or what was I going to call it over here? Let me just do the same thing, actually. Okay, that's awesome. Part of me wants to say, I don't believe in you, man. All right, dash webhook client. Let me go deal with this real quick. Dash payment webhooks, dash webhook client. We're saying this has got 3 commits, and 2 of them are the HD wallet. Yeah, I'm just going to push over that. We don't need those commits. We got those elsewhere because it's now a merchant wallet. Okay. Cool beans. Don't mind me just force pushing over master. It's okay. It's okay because I said it's okay. Do it as I say, not as I do. Remember? Just know that, and everything's going to be just fine. Okay, I don't think I need that one anymore. What did I change about the server here? Number of things, looks like. All good things. Okay, let me try to think of what this commit means. This commit is, I probably don't need a console.info rec there. I don't know why I'm console.info rec. Oh, it's actually useful? No, I shouldn't be console. Because it's got the password in it, right? Console.info. That's an info for sure. Target. Yeah, I believe in that one. This one, I don't believe that's an info. Because this is going to do what? Yeah, this is a debug. That's what that was. I don't know why that was labeled as info. That was wrong. But, all right, what's happening here is some restructuring for debugging. Better error handling. So I'm just going to go feet plus fix, better error handling, and include auth and improve errors. Let's just call it that. Do I get to push on this one? I do. All right, cool. All right, so that's all for tonight because I'm feeling the need to sleep. I want to have a good day tomorrow. I want to have a good start of the week tomorrow. So let me get back over here. Yeah, force pushing does sound like a Jedi trick, especially in consideration of what we just did. Quick question. You like fish the most? Yeah, so I do fish for... I'll explain this. I'm only going to use bash for any sort of scripting. But you got to distinguish between your shell experience and your scripting experience. I don't write scripts in fish. I don't think there's any value in that. I want to write scripts in a language that is well understood and that is fairly portable. But I don't want to be hindered by the legacy of the 1980s and my shell's ability to do auto-completion. So typically when I'm working at the shell, I'm not doing a bunch of variables or loops or things like that. If I want to do that, then I create a script because at that point I'm automating a process. So yeah, I think that everybody ought to use fish, and it is on webinstall.dev. If you want to get a quick and easy guide to fish, webinstall.dev/fish. There you go. That's going to show you, I was going to say my configuration, but there is no configuration for fish that I set, really. I think I changed the color scheme. I think that's all I got on there. But if you want to get fish quick and easy, that's a way to do it. So I did miss something. I did miss some of the prior comments. Let me go back here. Oh, that sound means Explorer got a new transaction. Okay. The same unit is Duff, following tradition of naming it after the creator of the coin, like Bitcoin. Oh, the smallest unit. Uh, mm, uh, mm, uh, no, no. You, okay. My concern is thinking the way that a consumer thinks. A 10,000th of something is too small to really talk about. That we could call it a what is it? Would that classify as a micro? But we need to use standard prefixes. We can't be calling things duffs and satoshis. It needs to be digital cash. So to some extent, the nerdery has got to go. So we're not calling it duffs. Sorry. When I say we, I don't know exactly who that is, but it's the people that are going to be transacting in digital cash. We might call it a micro dash or a millidash. I think that might make sense. A millidash, it's 100 micro dash. It's cent is a generic term that works across all currencies because it has a literal meaning. But then the problem there is that it doesn't. It might be a little too. If we want to be dash native, then we got to be careful about using a dash cent is worth a heck of a lot more than a euro cent, for example. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's gonna turn out to be, but the language. I don't think that Satoshis and Duffs are gonna prevail in when we're talking about helping people make payments for things that they want and need. Now I could be wrong about that because Dash has a user base that defines the niche, and if that's really what people call it, I don't know, dumber things have caught on in the past, especially with tech and nerdery and whatnot. I don't know, the term meme, for example, but meme kind of makes sense. Duff doesn't make any sense. And it sounds stupid. It's the designated ugly fat friend. That's whenever that's all that I know Duff to mean. I don't know anything else other than that. So I don't know what Deafman is. All right. Well, anyway, y'all have a good night. I hope that you enjoyed the stream. If you did, consider a like, thumbs up, sub, whatever, whatever, whatever. I am going to, yeah, I'm going to get off. I really think this was great. I think I'm excited for where this is going. I believe I'll catch up with y'all on Monday about this. Tomorrow, as the first day of the week, I plan to do my sharpen the stream, and what's going to be going on there is probably connecting a Google spreadsheet downloaded as a CSV with a YouTube playlist list and Otter AI transcripts. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to lead to, or I might do something different instead. I might just work on the blog system because I could probably get that up pretty quickly. And then that will probably drive me towards why I needed the spreadsheet. I think there's some information in the spreadsheet. The date. The date of the video is in the spreadsheet, but is not easy necessarily to get from Otter AI. Well, for the older ones in particular, because the Otter AI will have the date of when it was uploaded, not to Otter, not when it was created. And there's a couple of other considerations I got to keep in mind. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate the conversation and appreciate y'all giving me feedback and kind of helping me along with the things that you know, especially you, Grey Wolf. And I appreciate the questions too. Time for changes. So thank you all, and thanks for chiming in there at the end, Hunter. All right, y'all have a good night. Let me drop the link to the Discord one last time for anybody that's not on the Discord that wants to be. So get subscribed in the live streams channel if you want to, or I still don't know if this link actually goes to a sub channel or if you just end up in general or it's the whole Discord. Anyway, yeah, y'all have a good one. I'm out like a light. Adios.